Yep,
Yes,
all
please.
good.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to also echo what Tilla said earlier. It's really good to at least be virtually with all of you. For those of you who don't know, I'm Rupert Koopman from the Botanical Society. And just want to give you a quick overview. And I think it's useful because I've scanned through the list of attendees and there's a lot of new people here. Just to give a quick introduction to the Botanical Society. So we're 108 years old, started at the same time, basically as Kirstenbosch Botanical Garden. Our aim is to support botanical gardens, plant conservation, and activities that engage our members to know, grow, protect, and enjoy South Africa's indigenous plants. In 2020, so that's the beginning of last year, January, BotSoc re-established its conservation program by appointing me, and we aim to solidify our identity as an active participant in conservation, and to be smart about it by aligning to the UN's decade of for ecological restoration. So the strength of the civil society is its members. A lot of you on the call are members, and also I got to know a lot of CREW people since 2003 as members, and there's a lot of expertise, energy, and love for plants. And part of us working together is just to see how we can pull this together even better than it is already. What we've been busy with during lockdown is working on modernized operating systems and enhance accessibility. So that's just quickly, we've got 3 strategic areas of focus. So it's our transformation strategy, conservation strategy, and market strategy. So they're all interlinked and flow together. But just for purposes of this evening, I'm just going to introduce you quickly to the 5 key conservation strategies. And for background, we put together a conservation strategy which expired at the beginning of this year, from 2019 to 2021. So we're currently working on an updated version, but these 5 key goals remain. So goal 1 is to assist the monitoring of key species and identification of important plant areas. So that's been spoken to, and CREW does the monitoring. And number 2 is working towards securing key sites for plant conservation. I'll talk about that for a little bit. Reducing the ongoing loss of plant species and sites rich in botanical assets. Supporting botanical gardens in the propagation of key species and the reintroduction into important plant areas, and building the capacity of professional botanists and increasing awareness of the importance of our botanical assets in all sectors of society. So very broad and very big, but at least it gives us a framework to work from. I just wanted to echo again, for those of you who don't know, this is where our branches are on the right-hand side across the country, and you can see they neatly mirror where there's a CREW presence across the country in most places. And I think the onus is on both of us to work together to solidify these areas where we are, and also to start looking at the gaps where needed. So just to give you a couple of things that we've been up to. One of the programs that we've got up and running is working with branches. So we have a budget for branch conservation projects. And for this year, these are the 4 that have been selected. And what we do is we run them through those conservation and transformation focus areas and see how many they respond to. And then they're chosen and supported. So Algoa branch has got this fantastic adopter plot. There's a lot more detail, so please contact me if you want to know more. Bloemfontein branch, the Free State branch has got they're supporting the mapping of an understudied vegetation type, and there we've been able to also make sure that the student is working with Sandy's VegMap unit. Garden Route has the Respect the River program, and KZN Inland had a shade house where they are doing work supporting the KZN Botanical Garden in Pietermaritzburg, and that needed to be fixed. Another one of the things that we've been doing, so we're all on Zoom today, but I've been spending a lot of time on Zoom with our BotSoc plant conservation webinars. So these have been really interesting, and I want to thank the CREW and SANBI team, because this is a joint project. We came up with a long list of topics from the National Plant Conservation Strategy. And the idea with the webinars is always to make sure that we lay out a table to introduce a topic well, and then bring in a almost can-do attitude to see what is possible in that space. And the idea is, you know, should you know nothing about the topic, that at the end of it, you would have a decent idea. And even a lot of the topics mentioned today by previous speakers, like medicinal plants, the succulent poaching, etc., they've been touched on. So I would encourage you to go check this out if you haven't yet. To tie in what Tilo was saying about the screening tool, we worked on developing a EIA training program. Essentially, this was one of the big questions that came from our members in 2019. And we've worked with Luc Verburgt from Enviro Insight to put together an online course. So we've got 8 lectures detailing the EIA process, how to use the screening tool, and supply a written comment. We've trialed this with 18 of our branch representatives across the country. And we also had follow-ups via Zoom. And what I'd like to put on the table here is that if there are BotSoc members on the call today who are keen on getting more involved in this, our initial group of people that went through training have indicated that they'd also like to provide support to people. So the idea is, like we said on the bottom right there, we want to broaden the footprint of knowledgeable BotSoc representatives, because we're all concerned about EIAs and getting involved with them, but sometimes the mechanisms can be opaque. I mean, I'm someone who's worked on commenting and being involved with him for over a decade, but I understand for other people, there's been more, there needs to be additional kind of insight into it. And so, yeah, if you're interested in getting involved from this point of view and just knowing more, is one of our membership benefits that we've been working on. So please drop me an email and we can talk. Then talking about the expansion of the conservation footprint, we work very closely with Isabel Johnson, who's also on the call, and also a CREW and KZN botanical veteran. And she essentially does most of the specialist botanical work supporting stewardship and in the KZN area, as well as working with the KZN team at the botanical garden on collecting plants for MSB and for in situ work. So we just want to thank Isabel for the fantastic work she's doing there. And she's also been very instrumental in our KZN Inland branch. Another project that we've been working on is kind of the spatial transformation of the Botanical Society. So our footprint is national, but we're trying to move from on the left, where we've got quite a loose idea of where the branches are, and there are some hand-drawn boundaries based on postal codes. And we've gone through this big consultation process to put together a status quo map of the branches. So that's in the middle. And then we've chosen 3 nodes, and I've been working very closely with Kavisha Naika and Anisha Dairam from SANBI to put together the kind of mapping on the right. So we've got these 3 trial nodes that we've started with, West Coast, KZN and Gauteng. And we put all the data that we need together, so that you see there's the ecosystem status. We've also used information from the important plant areas map, as well as we're inputting alien invasive information and CREW data as well. And the idea is that we give a nice 6 to 10 page portfolio almost, or biodiversity profile to branches, and that will help inform their activities. and also when they're looking at projects that they've got the basic biodiversity information to start making good decisions with our support. Then another element that I wanted to bring to this audience is the membership drive. So our council 2 years ago now has put together or allowed for 500 youth memberships. So that's between the age of 18 and 25 to be allocated at branch level. And the idea is that branches use this as a recruitment tool almost. And we've already had a couple of branches who've been involved, and I know there's more that have applied. But if CREW individuals know of young people that they think would be significant to add to the BotSoc and CREW family, please chat to your local branch. And basically the process is that branches need to be nominating people. So on the right here, you can see our new BotSoc chair, Bongani Mnisi, handing over membership to someone in Kogelberg. So that's the Strandlopers Environmental Education Group that Ibrahim Howell is supporting. He's a horticulturist at Harold Porter. And bottom left is the Overberg Eco Rangers out in Elam with Rebecca from Grootbos. Finally, for the rest of you on the call, we spoke a lot about iNaturalist tonight. I just wanted to say that we've also got a BotSoc project because we want to be able to track all our members that are active on iNaturalist. We are pushing for branches to get more involved in recording and City Nature Challenge and Great Southern BioBlitz. And I just wanted to say that, you know, we want to be working together to reinforce and strengthen the BotSoc CREW relationship for the benefit of the plants and people of South Africa, and just increase this footprint because this is a very strong base to push off. So thank you very much for your attention. And I'm going to hand back to Savannah.